There is something I have been keeping for this exact moment. Not because I forgot. Not because I was distracted. Not because your words dissolved into the vast atmosphere and vanished without a trace. Every prayer you have ever spoken was received. Every tear that fell from your eyes while you were calling out to me was counted. Every single one. Every whisper you uttered in the smallest hours of the night, believing that perhaps no one was listening. I was listening. I was right there, closer than you realized, more attentive than you dared to hope. And everything I received from you, every petition, every cry, every desperate asking, I have been holding it, turning it in my hands with the greatest care, preparing the answer with a precision and a love that goes beyond what you can fully comprehend right now. The timing was not right until now. That is not a dismissal. That is not an excuse. It is the most honest thing I can say to you. What you cannot see is visible to me. What you do not know is known completely. The perspective that stretches across all of time is mine, while you live in the narrow experience of one moment following another. When I say the timing was not right, the meaning is simply this: giving you something before it can truly serve you would not be love. Releasing an answer into a situation before the ground is prepared to receive it would not serve you. Pushing open a door before everything on the other side is arranged for your good would not be love in action. My delay has never been negligence. My silence has never been indifference. Every single time you have waited, the waiting itself was part of my perfect plan for your life. And right now, in this moment, listen to me carefully. Right now, the answer you have been calling for is being released. Not eventually, not someday. Right now, as you receive these words, as your ears carry this message to your heart, the response to your calling is arriving. The season of waiting is giving way to the season of receiving. What I have prepared is extraordinary, and you are about to begin seeing it manifest in ways you did not expect, in ways you would not have been ready for any earlier, and in ways that will make the waiting entirely understandable in hindsight. Hold on. Open your heart. What is coming is worth everything you have been through to get here. I need you to hear this first, before anything else. When you pray, I do not hear static. I do not hear your voice mixed indistinguishably with billions of other voices until it becomes a kind of meaningless background noise. That is not how this works. When you pray, your prayer reaches me. Only you, completely you. Every single word you have ever directed toward me has been received with perfect clarity, with perfect love, and with my full and undivided attention. There has never been a moment when your prayer was too small to matter. There has never been a moment when your asking was too desperate to be heard. There has never been a moment when you reached out in faith, and I was somehow unavailable. I am not a distant God. I am not a God who sits somewhere untouchably removed from the ordinary details of your daily life. I made you. I know every detail of who you are. I know the sound of your voice when you are confident, and the sound of your voice when you are afraid. I know the shape of your dreams, the texture of your fears, the specific weight of the burdens you carry. I know which mornings you woke up with hope, and which mornings you woke up already dreading the day. I know the faces of the people who have hurt you. I know the moments when you chose grace, even when bitterness would have been understandable. I know all of this because you are not a stranger to me. You are not a subject I oversee from a distance. You are someone I love with a love that is personal and specific, and completely committed to your flourishing. Your voice reaches me every time. Every prayer, spoken aloud or simply felt in the deepest part of your heart, reaches me. And I want you to understand what it means when I say, I hear you. It does not mean I passively receive the information and file it away. It means I am moved. It means what matters to you matters to me. Your pain triggers my compassion. Your hope stirs my joy. Your faith, even small, even uncertain, even mixed with doubt, activates my response. I am not a God who processes prayers intellectually from behind glass. I am a God who is personally invested in your story, who feels the weight of everything you feel, who is moved by what moves you. My listening child, I know you have been waiting for an answer. I know the waiting has been difficult. Some days have been easier than others. There have been stretches of time where you maintained your faith with relative steadiness, where you trusted the process, where you held on to the promise that I had not forgotten you. And there have been other stretches of time, the harder ones, where the doubt crept in despite your best efforts to keep it out, where you lay awake at night and the questions came. Why is this taking so long? Does he hear me? Is this prayer going anywhere? Have I done something wrong? Is the problem with me? Let me address those questions directly, because they deserve a real answer, not a vague spiritual platitude. Why is it taking so long? Because the answer I am preparing requires more preparation than you can see from where you are standing. A full picture of what I am building for you involves not just you, but also the people around you, the circumstances that need to align, the character that needs to be developed, the specific timing that will make everything work together in the most beneficial way. You are not waiting because I am slow. You are waiting because I am thorough. I do not do halfway work. What I am bringing into your life is complete and whole and right. Do I hear you? Yes. Without question, without exception, without limitation. Every single prayer. Not some of them, all of them. You have never once prayed a prayer that failed to reach me. Your words do not travel into void. They travel directly to me, and they land with full impact. Is the prayer going anywhere? Every prayer you have ever prayed has initiated movement. Not always visible movement, not always immediate external change, but real movement. Prayer moves the invisible things that eventually produce the visible things. When you pray, things shift that you cannot see shift. Doors begin to open that you cannot see opening yet. Hearts begin to soften that you cannot see softening yet. Circumstances begin to align that you cannot perceive aligning yet. Prayer is never wasted. Not ever. Every prayer you have prayed has set something in motion. Have you done something wrong? The idea that your waiting is a punishment, that you are in a kind of spiritual timeout because of your failures, that is a lie about who I am. I am not a God who withholds blessing as a form of punishment. I am a God who disciplines in love when necessary, yes, but discipline and withholding are not the same thing. The delays in your life have not been because you failed some test and now must wait until you pass it. They have been because my timing, which accounts for factors you cannot see, is not yet complete. That is a very different thing. Is the problem with you? You are not inadequate. You are not too broken. You are not too sinful. You are not beyond the reach of what I am doing. There is no version of you that falls outside my ability to work with, to bless, to restore, to use for something meaningful. The problem is not you. The only thing that slows the operation of my blessing in your life is the degree to which you trust me and remain open to what I am doing. And even trust can be grown. Even openness can be developed. I am in the business of growing those things in you. That is part of what the waiting has been about. Now, let me show you something. Let me pull back the curtain on what I have been doing in the times that felt silent to you. When you prayed, and nothing seemed to happen on the surface of your life. When the situation you were praying about remained exactly as it was, and the days passed with no visible change. Here is what I was doing. I was working in the invisible layers of your situation. Every situation has layers. There is the surface layer, the visible circumstances, what you can observe with your natural senses. And then there are the deeper layers, the things happening beneath the surface, the forces at work in the unseen realm, the processes of heart change and circumstance alignment and timing convergence. Most of my work happens in those deeper layers before it ever breaks the surface. When you could see nothing happening, I was working in the layers you could not see. Do not mistake the invisibility of my work for its absence. I was working in the people connected to your situation, people whose hearts needed to be in a certain place before the answer to your prayer could fully come through. Some people needed to let go of something before they could become part of your answered prayer. Some people needed to grow in a specific way. Some people needed to go through their own experience that would make them ready to play the role in your life that I have planned for them. I was working on all of these people. I was working in their hearts, in their circumstances, in their understanding. The answer to your prayer involves a whole ecosystem of people and situations that I am coordinating with the skill of someone who sees every moving part at once. I was working in your own heart. This is important. The you who will step into the blessing I have prepared needs to be a different you than the one who first prayed for it. Not because the original you was not worthy, but because the blessing requires a version of you with certain capacities, certain depths, certain strengths that had not yet been fully developed. The waiting has been growing you. The difficulty has been shaping you. The seasons of uncertainty have been building an infrastructure inside of you, a foundation of real faith, of character depth, of emotional maturity that will allow the blessing to land and thrive and multiply rather than arrive and then slip away because the ground was not ready to hold it. Think back over the journey that has brought you to this point. Not just the hard parts, though I see all of those, but the moments of unexpected grace along the way. The moments when something was provided just when you needed it. The moments when a specific word reached you at exactly the right time. The moments when a door opened that you did not see coming. The moments when something that looked like an ending became the beginning of something better. My fingerprints are all over those moments. I was working through the whole journey, not just the promising parts, and not just the difficult parts, but all of it. Every step brought you here. Every step was guided by my hand, even when it did not feel guided. Even when it felt stumbling and uncertain and lost, I was the ground beneath your feet. Now I want to speak directly to what you are carrying right now. The specific weight you brought into this moment. The thing that pressed on your heart when you woke up. The concern that runs like a thread through the middle of your days. Whatever it is, I see it. I have not overlooked it. I have not minimized it. The things that are real to you are real to me. The things that feel heavy to you, I feel their weight. I am not asking you to pretend that the difficulty is not difficult. It is. And I am present in the middle of it with you. The relationship that is strained or broken, I am working in it. If it is a relationship that belongs in your life, I am laying the groundwork for its restoration. I am at work in the other person's heart in ways they may not even be aware of. I am creating the conditions for genuine understanding to emerge. I am softening hardness and healing wounds on both sides. This does not mean every broken relationship gets repaired on your timetable or in the way you picture it. My vision for restored relationships is sometimes different from yours, but where restoration is in my plan, it is coming. And where a relationship cannot be restored, I am the one who will help you heal from its loss. and will bring new connections into your life that are more aligned with where you are going. The financial situation that feels precarious or tight or frankly overwhelming, I am your provider. Let me say that again because I need you to receive it fully. I am your provider, not the economy, not your employer, though I can work through employers, not your own ingenuity, though I can work through that too. Ultimately, at the source of all provision in your life, I am there. I have resources that are not limited by the things that limit human provision. I can bring provision through pathways you have not thought of and could not plan for. I can make something out of apparent nothing. I can multiply what seems insufficient. I am not watching your situation from a distance, wondering how it is going to work out. I already know how it works out, and it works out in your favor because I have planned it that way. Begin to release the anxiety. Begin to practice the trust that says, my God is my provider, and my God does not let me go without what I need. The health challenges, whether they are in your body or in your mind or in your emotions, I am your healer. I made you. I know how your body works at the most fundamental level. I know the pathways of your nervous system, the chemistry of your brain, the patterns of your emotional responses. I am not mystified by what is happening in your physical and emotional experience, and I am not powerless to intervene in it. I believe in medicine and I can work through medicine. I believe in therapy and I can work through therapy. But I also work beyond what medicine can currently address and beyond what any therapeutic process can fully reach. I am bringing healing to you, not just eventually, right now, in this season, as a process that is already underway. Open yourself to receive it. Stop telling your body and your mind that they are permanently defined by what you are currently experiencing. You are being healed. Hold that truth even on the days it seems farthest from visible reality. The questions about your purpose, the feeling that you should be doing something more meaningful, that there is something you were made for that you have not yet fully found. Those questions are not random. They are the natural result of being a person who was made with a specific design and a specific calling. You were not made to simply exist and endure. You were made to participate. You were made to contribute something that only you, with your particular combination of experiences and gifts and perspective, can contribute. And I am in the process of making that clearer to you, not necessarily through dramatic revelation, but through the gradual accumulation of small clarities. Pay attention to the moments when something comes alive in you, when something interests you more than seems practical, when you find yourself caring about something in a way that goes deeper than social expectation. Those moments are signposts. Follow them toward what I am showing you about your purpose. The loneliness, even when you are surrounded by people, even when your life looks full from the outside, there is sometimes an inner loneliness, a sense of being fundamentally unknown, of having a self that no one fully sees or understands. That space deserves to be filled. That longing for deep knowing is not a flaw in you. It is a design element. You were made to be known by me in a way that is more complete than any human relationship can provide. Human connection is real and valuable, and something I want abundantly for your life. But no human can know you the way I know you, and no human can love what they know the way I love what I know. I know every part of you, every fear, every failure, every secret hope, every wound you carry, every beauty you contain. And I choose you, completely, fully, without reservation. You are not alone. You are not unknown. You are deeply, completely, tenderly known by the God who made you. Now come even closer. I have something specific to whisper into your spirit. Over the next period of your life, you are going to see things shift. Not everything all at once. I am not in the business of overwhelming you, but in a steady, noticeable progression that will make it impossible for you to attribute what you are experiencing to coincidence. You are going to receive help from unexpected sources. You are going to find doors opening that you thought were permanently closed. You are going to experience healing in places that have been painful for a long time. You are going to encounter people who feel like answers to prayers you prayed years ago. You are going to have moments of profound clarity about who you are and what you are made to do. These things are not wishful thinking. They are what I am releasing into your life. Lean into this season. Stay open. Stay expectant. Stay connected to me. I need to speak now about the declarations I am making over your future, because your future is not uncertain to me. It is decided. I speak over your life right now. Provision. The lack that has gripped you is releasing. The financial pressure is beginning to lift. Abundance is moving toward you, not as a reward for being good enough, but as an expression of my love and my intention for your flourishing. I speak peace over the relationships in your life. The tension is breaking. Understanding is growing. Healing is coming. I speak clarity over your purpose. The fog of uncertainty about your direction is beginning to clear. The next steps are becoming visible. The gifts I placed in you are being activated for their intended use. I speak health over your body and your mind and your emotions. Restoration is in process. Strength is returning. Heaviness is lifting. I speak courage over your heart. The fear that has kept you smaller than you were made to be is losing its grip. You are stepping into more presence, more purpose, more joy, more impact. I speak favor over your coming season. The doors I have prepared for you are opening. The right people are being positioned. The timing is aligning. Everything that needs to fall into place is falling into place. These are not generic spiritual encouragements. These are specific declarations from the one who knows your name, your situation, your history, and your future. I am your God, and I speak these things over you with the authority of one who not only promises, but delivers. My track record is perfect. I have never spoken a word over someone I love that I did not bring to pass. I am speaking these words over you. Hold them. Live inside them. Let them shape your expectations and your perspective. Let them be the counter-argument to every discouraging thought the enemy tries to plant in your mind. Here is what I am asking from you in return. Nothing extraordinary, not perfection, not performance, not a religious resume that qualifies you for what I am about to do. I am asking for 3 simple things. First, keep reaching, keep praying, keep talking to me. Not because I need you to earn your way to my attention, you already have it, but because the conversation itself is valuable. Something is built in us through communication that cannot be built any other way. Our relationship deepens through your consistent reaching toward me, and the reaching keeps you oriented toward me rather than toward the pressures that want to pull your focus elsewhere. Second, keep trusting. I know trust is harder on some days than on others. I am not asking for perfect trust. I know you are human, and doubt comes with being human. I am asking you to keep choosing trust, even when it is hard. To keep bringing the doubts to me, rather than letting them solidify into a framework of unbelief. To keep the door of trust open, even a crack on the hardest days. A cracked door is enough for me to work through. You do not need certainty. You need willingness. Keep choosing to be willing to trust me even when the evidence is hard to read. Third, keep going. Keep doing the next thing. Keep showing up for your life, for your responsibilities, for the people who need you. Do not stop living in anticipation of the answer coming. Live fully now, in this season, even in the middle of the waiting. The version of you who is growing through this season is the version of me is preparing to be a recipient of what I am about to release. Do not pause your life. Keep moving. Keep loving. Keep working. Keep showing up. I am with you in the movement, in the daily ordinary forward motion, as much as I am with you in the dramatic moments of obvious miracle. You called to me. I heard you. I hear you still. I am the God who responds. I am the God who has been working in the silence. I am the God who is making all things work together for your good, because you are mine, and I love you, and I do not abandon what I love. The answer is on its way. The season is changing. What you have been believing for is closer than it has ever been. Your prayers are not lost. Your faith has not been in vain. Your waiting has not been wasted. I am your God. I am your Father. I am your provider, your healer, your defender, your companion. I am here. I was always here. I will always be here. And I am responding to you right now with everything that I am, with all the love I have always had for you, with all the power that has been working on your behalf in the silent seasons, with all the plans I have been preparing since before you even knew you needed them. You are heard. You are loved. You are mine. And your breakthrough is coming. The life you are living right now deserves specific attention. The daily life. The ordinary Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day this is as you listen. Not the big dramatic moments, not the major milestones, but the steady, ordinary movement of your days. Because that is where most of your life actually happens. Not in the exceptional moments, but in the accumulation of ordinary moments. And I am present in all of it. My presence is with you in the morning, when you first open your eyes and assess what the day is going to be. That presence is with you in the uncertainty that sometimes meets you immediately upon waking. The sense of weight that settles before you have even fully formed a conscious thought. I am right there, in that gap between sleep and full wakefulness, before you have had time to organize your concerns. I am whispering to that part of you that exists before the day has fully assembled itself. I am here. I am with you. This day belongs to both of us. Through the middle hours, through the tasks and the interactions and the decisions and the frustrations. When someone treats you with less care than you deserve, I notice. When the work feels meaningless or the effort feels disproportionate to the return, I see. When you give something and it goes unappreciated, when you try your best and it falls short of what was needed, when you hold yourself together in a difficult moment at a cost to your inner reserves, I see all of it. I am present in all of it, and I honor all of it, even when no one else around you does. My companionship continues in the evening, in the quiet that comes after the obligations have been met, and you have a moment to be still. In that stillness, I am especially available to you. Not because I am more present in stillness, I am equally present in the noise, but because in the stillness, you are more available to me. You can hear me better. You can feel my presence more readily. That is why I encourage you to seek stillness, to cultivate silence in your life, to resist the pull toward constant distraction and stimulation. Not because I am only accessible in silence, but because you hear me better there. Every single ordinary day of your life is a day I am with you. Every single ordinary day is a day in which I am working on your behalf, guiding your steps toward the good things I have prepared, using the encounters and experiences to shape you and to position you. Nothing is wasted. No day is throwaway. Even the days that feel like nothing happened are days in which something was being built in the invisible layers. I am present in your relationships, all of them. In the conversations that go well, and in the conversations that go badly. In the connections that feed your soul, and in the ones that drain it. In the family dynamics that bring you joy, and in the ones that bring you pain. I am present in all of it, not as an observer, but as an active participant. I am working in the hearts of the people in your life. I am influencing dynamics in ways that are slowly bending toward greater health and greater love. Trust me with your relationships. Bring them to me. Show me the difficult ones, not just in complaint, but in genuine intercession. Ask me what to do. Ask me what to say. Ask me how to love the difficult people and when to set limits with the destructive ones. I will guide you. I know every person in your life, and I know exactly what each relationship needs, and I will help you navigate it. I am present in your work, whatever it is you do to sustain yourself and contribute to the world. Whether you love it or you merely endure it, whether it feels meaningful or tedious, whether you are in the right place or still trying to figure out the right place, I am there. I can bring meaning to work that feels meaningless. I can bring grace to work environments that feel oppressive. I can give you eyes to see how what you do connects to something larger than itself. And I can also guide you, when the time is right, out of what is wrong and into what is more aligned with how I made you. Your work life is not outside my concern. It is not a secular zone where I am somehow less present. I am present there as fully as I am present in your prayer time. Specificity about how the response to your calling works in this season matters, because I think specificity is helpful. It gives you something concrete to watch for and to receive. Watch for unexpected provision. It may come through a source you did not anticipate. It may be smaller than you hoped at first, or it may be larger. But watch for provision that cannot be entirely explained by natural means. When something comes that you did not arrange, that you did not engineer, that simply arrived, receive it as my provision for you. Thank me for it. Not as a religious obligation, but as a genuine recognition that I am the source of all good things in your life. Watch for unexpected connections. People who come into your life in this season may be answers to prayers you prayed months or years ago. Do not dismiss the importance of new relationships or the deepening of existing ones. I am a relational God, and I work extensively through people. The right person at the right moment can change everything. Stay open to the people I am positioning around you. Watch for unexpected clarity. In areas of your life where there has been confusion or uncertainty about decisions you need to make, about directions you should take, about purposes you are meant to pursue, watch for moments of sudden or gradual clarity. Not always dramatic revelation. Sometimes just a settling. A sense that this is the right direction. A sense of peace about something that previously felt uncertain. I am the author of that clarity. Receive it and act on it with confidence. Watch for unexpected healing. In your body, in your emotions, in your mind. Healing that you did not orchestrate. An improvement in something that had been declining. A lifting of a heaviness that had become familiar, a release of pain that you had begun to accept as permanent. I am your healer. Healing happens in my presence, and your life is saturated with my presence. Watch for it, and watch for unexpected joy, moments of genuine, unforced joy that arise even in the middle of difficulty. These moments are gifts from me, small breaks in the clouds, to remind you that joy is your inheritance, not a seasonal visitor. When joy comes, receive it completely. Do not feel guilty about it because circumstances are not perfect. Joy is not a reward for circumstances being good. Joy is a fruit of living in connection with me. Receive it. Now there is something that you may need to hear right now in this season. Something about identity, about who you are, who you really are, as distinct from who you have been told you are, who your failures suggest you are, who your current circumstances imply you are. You are a child of the living God. Let me say that again, because I want it to land in a deep place. You are a child of the living God. Not metaphorically, not in some vague spiritual sense. Actually, truly, specifically, you are my child. You were born of my spirit. You carry my nature in you. You are marked by my hand. You belong to my family. That is your identity. That is the most fundamental truth about who you are. Everything else about you, the choices you have made, the failures you have accumulated, the reputation you carry in certain circles, the ways in which you have fallen short of your own expectations, none of it changes this foundational truth. You are my child, and I do not disown my children. I do not cast them out when they fail. I do not revise my love downward when they disappoint. I draw them closer when they are broken. I pour grace on the places that are deficient. I am at work, patiently and powerfully, restoring the parts of them that have been damaged and strengthening the parts that are healthy and building the parts that are not yet what they were always meant to be. Your identity is not your worst moment. Your identity is not your longest struggle. Your identity is not what the most critical voice in your life says about you. Your identity is what I say about you. And what I say about you is chosen, beloved, redeemed, purposed, held, mine. Walk in that identity. Not because you have fully become everything it implies. You are on a journey toward it, we all are, but because it is what is true about you right now, as you are, where you are. I chose you as you currently are. I love you as you currently are. I am using you as you currently are. You do not have to wait until you are more put together, or more spiritually mature, or more healed, or more confident. I can work with who you are today. I do work with who you are today. Let me work with who you are today. There is a prayer I have heard from you many times that I want to respond to specifically. The prayer that says something like, I want to be used by you. I want my life to matter. I want to make a difference. That prayer is not a small one, but it is also not as complicated as you may think. My answer to it is already underway. You are already making a difference. The ways in which I am using you are already in motion. Some of them you are aware of, and some of them you are not. Some of the most significant things you do for my kingdom happen in moments you barely register as significant. A kindness extended when you were tired, a patience displayed when impatience would have been easier, a word of encouragement offered to someone who was about to give up, a prayer prayed for someone that you may never know the impact of. Do not underestimate the ordinary moments of your life. Do not wait for the grand stage. You are already on the stage. Every interaction is an opportunity for my love to flow through you to another person. Every day is a day in which your life can point someone towards something better. I do not need you to have a ministry platform or a large audience or a title or a formal role. I need you to be who you are, where you are, in relationship with me, available to be used in the moments I present to you. That is the life I am asking for. That is the life that makes a difference. Now I want to talk to you about what comes next, about the next chapter. I know you have been wondering about it. What does the future look like? What is on the other side of this season? What is coming? And my answer is better. Better than what has been. Better than what you can currently picture. Not perfect. There will be new challenges on the other side of these ones, but fundamentally better. More aligned, more fruitful, more full. The prayers you have been praying are going to see their answers arrive in this next season. Some of them will arrive in obvious ways, and some of them will arrive in ways so subtle you will not immediately recognize them as answers. But looking back, you will see it. You will see how everything that has happened has been leading toward what I am about to bring. The story makes sense from the perspective of the ending, and the ending I am writing is not one of defeat or disappointment. It is one of redemption and overflow. You are going to be surprised. I love surprising you. I love the moments when you encounter something I have done that you could not have anticipated. Something that exceeds what you asked for. Something that demonstrates that my capacity to bless is larger than your capacity to imagine. I have some of those moments planned for you. Hold on for them. They are worth everything you are going through to reach them. Now I want to talk to you about something that you may need to hear right now in this season. Something about the nature of prayer itself, because I think you may have developed some misunderstandings about how it works, and those misunderstandings have been making the journey harder than it needs to be. Many people approach prayer as a transaction. They bring a request. They bring it with the right level of faith and the right words and the right posture and the right amount of persistence, and they expect a result proportionate to the inputs. And when the result does not come in the expected form or the expected time frame, they conclude that something about their inputs was deficient. Their faith was not strong enough. Their words were not right. Their sincerity was not deep enough. Their persistence was not sufficient. And so they work harder. They fast more. They use different words. They repeat themselves more fervently. And when that still does not seem to produce the expected result, something inside them begins to break down. I want to dismantle this framework entirely. Prayer is not a transaction. Prayer is a relationship. The entire purpose of prayer is not to execute a mechanism for receiving things. The entire purpose of prayer is to be in communication with the one who loves you most in the universe. The receiving is real. I am a God who gives abundantly and generously. But the receiving happens in the context of relationship, not as the output of a correctly performed ritual. What does this mean, practically? It means that when you pray and nothing immediately visible happens, the prayer was not wasted. You were with me. We were in communication. The relationship was active. Something was built between us that cannot be built any other way, and that building has value that is entirely separate from whether or not any specific request was fulfilled on any specific timetable. I treasure every moment you have spent in my presence, not just the triumphant moments, not just the grateful moments, but the desperate moments, the confused moments, the barely holding on moments. All of it is treasure to me. All of it builds something real. The second misunderstanding I want to address is this, that my silence means I have nothing to say. When you pray and you do not hear a clear response, when you seek direction and the path does not immediately illuminate itself, when you cry out in pain and the comfort seems delayed in arriving, this is not me declining to engage. I am always speaking. I speak through the patterns of your life, through the people I place in your path, through the scripture that seems to find you exactly when you need it most, through the quiet, settled feeling in your spirit when you are moving in the right direction, through the unease when you are moving away from it. I speak constantly. The skill is learning to listen in all the ways I speak, not just the dramatic, obvious ways that are easiest to recognize. When you feel like I have not answered, ask yourself, have I been listening in all the ways I speak? Have I been watching for my handwriting in the details of my life? Have I paid attention to the peace or its absence as a navigation tool? Have I opened my Bible looking for what I wanted to say to this moment? Have I been still long enough to hear the quiet voice? I do not always speak in dramatic ways. Sometimes I speak in the smallest, quietest voice, in the smallest, quietest moment. And the question is whether you have cultivated the stillness and the sensitivity to hear it. I am not asking you to be perfect at this. I am not expecting spiritual maturity that takes years to develop to appear overnight. I am asking you to remain open, to continue seeking, to not conclude from a period of difficulty or silence that I have withdrawn. I have not withdrawn. I never withdraw from you. I may feel nearer sometimes than others. That is the nature of your emotional experience and the seasons of your inner life. But my actual presence with you does not fluctuate based on what you can feel. I am as present in the seasons you cannot feel me as I am in the seasons you can. Now let me speak about something that many people do not talk about enough, which is the enemy of your soul and what he is trying to do specifically in your life right now. He is not primarily interested in causing you obvious dramatic suffering. He is much smarter than that. What he is most interested in is stealing your faith, in creating doubt about whether I hear you, in engineering situations and experiences that can be interpreted as evidence of my absence or indifference, in whispering to you in your most discouraged moments that you are alone, that your prayers are going nowhere, that you are foolish to keep hoping. The reason he worked so hard on your faith is because your faith is your access point. A person with active faith is a person in relationship with me, and a person in relationship with me has access to everything I am and everything I have. You are formidable when your faith is alive. You are connected to the most powerful force in the universe. The things that try to stop you run into me before they can reach you. The attacks designed against you land on my shield before they touch you. This makes you extraordinarily difficult for the enemy to destroy when your faith is intact. So he works to dismantle it. He works to make the waiting seem meaningless and my silence seem permanent and your prayers seem small and ineffective. I am telling you what he is doing so you can recognize it and resist it. When the thought comes that your prayers are not working, recognize that as a lie and reject it. When the feeling comes that you are alone in your situation, recognize that as a lie and reject it. When the discouragement settles in and says, this is taking too long and maybe it is just not going to happen, recognize that as a strategy of the enemy and refuse to agree with it. He does not have authority over your story. He does not have authority over your future. He does not have authority over the plans I have made for you. He is a defeated opponent, making noise. Do not let his noise become the loudest voice in your life. The loudest voice in your life should be mine, not the circumstances, not the fears, not the doubts, not the discouraging opinions of people who do not understand what you are walking through. My voice, telling you who you are and who I am, and what I am doing and what is coming. That should be the reference point for how you interpret everything else. Let my word about your situation overrule every other voice. Let the things I have promised define your expectations more than what you currently see. This is what faith is. Not the pretense that difficult things are not difficult, but the choice to let what I say be more real to you than what you see. And what I say about you is this: you are loved beyond measure. You are made for more than what you have experienced. Your prayers have been heard and are being answered. Your life is not heading toward disaster. It is heading toward the fulfillment of purposes I planned for you before the world began. The struggles you are in are not the end of your story. They are chapters in a story that is ultimately one of redemption and blessing, and the demonstration of my faithfulness through your specific life. I have chosen you for that story. I am writing it. I know exactly where it is going. I want to spend some time now simply loving you without agenda, not pushing toward any next point, not building toward any particular conclusion, just being present with you and reminding you that this is what I am at the most fundamental level in your life. Your God who loves you, not your God who requires things of you before extending love. Not your God who is watching to see if you perform well enough to deserve what you are hoping for. Your God who loved you before you ever prayed a prayer, before you ever thought about faith, before you ever made a single effort toward goodness. My love for you is prior to everything. It came before. It will come after. It is not contingent on anything you do. You can rest in that love right now. You do not have to achieve it. You do not have to maintain it through your religious effort. You cannot lose it through your failures. It is yours. Completely, permanently, unreservedly yours. Whatever you are carrying right now, whatever concern brought you to this moment of listening, you carry it as someone who is completely loved. That does not make the difficulty disappear, but it changes everything about how you move through it. You move through it as someone held, as someone seen, as someone whose steps are guided by a love that never wavers. Your tears have not been wasted. Every time you cried in front of me, whether in a formal prayer or just in the honest acknowledgement of pain, I was present. I received every tear as something precious. I have gathered them. Your suffering has been seen. I have never looked away from your pain as if it were too small to matter or too messy to engage with. I have been present in it. I am present in it still. And I am working through it, using it, redeeming it, turning even the painful seasons into something that will serve your flourishing in ways you will understand more clearly with the passage of time. What I want to give you today, as a response to everything you have been calling out to me about, is not just a specific answer to a specific request, although those answers are coming. What I want to give you today is a renewed foundation, a deeper certainty about who I am and what our relationship means. Because if you have that, a solid, settled understanding of the love I have for you, the faithfulness I operate with, the thoroughness of my plans on your behalf, then you can receive every other good thing from a place of security rather than desperation. Desperation looks at a gift and immediately worries about when it might be taken away. Security looks at a gift and receives it fully, grateful and trusting that the God who gave it is also the God who sustains it. You do not have to be desperate. Your position with me is not precarious. You do not have to work hard to maintain my interest or my love. You do not have to perform to stay in my good graces. You belong to me and I belong to you. This is a covenant relationship. I have committed to you. That commitment does not fluctuate. It does not take time off. It is not affected by the quality of your prayer life in a given week. It is permanent. It is sealed. It is the most secure thing in your experience. Rest in that. Let that be the ground under your feet right now. I have heard your calling. I am responding to it. Not with reluctance, not with qualification, not with a list of conditions you must first meet. I am responding with everything I am, because you are mine, and you called, and I answer when you call. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is the relationship we have, and it is the most beautiful, most secure, most life-giving relationship you will ever know. Let me speak to you now about faith in a way that I hope brings freedom rather than adding pressure. There is a version of faith that has been taught in ways that make it exhausting. The version where faith is primarily something you have to generate in sufficient quantity before I will act, where if I am not acting, the logical conclusion is that you have not generated enough faith. This version produces people who are constantly straining, constantly self-assessing, constantly worried that their faith is inadequate. And that worry itself undermines the peace and trust that are at the heart of genuine faith. It becomes a terrible cycle. Let me tell you what faith actually is. Faith is trust. Simple, honest, imperfect, growing trust. It is not a spiritual quantity that you have to manufacture in sufficient volume. It is not a performance that you have to get exactly right. It is a relationship posture. It is the choice made in the middle of not knowing and not seeing, to lean toward me rather than away from me, to orient yourself toward my goodness rather than toward the evidence of difficulty. That is what faith is, and you are capable of it. You are already practicing it. The fact that you are here, that you are listening, that some part of you is still reaching toward something more, that is faith. Not perfect faith, but real faith. Real faith does not mean never doubting. It means bringing the doubt to me rather than away from me. Real faith does not mean never feeling afraid. It means being afraid and reaching toward me anyway. Real faith does not mean always feeling certain. It means choosing to act from my promises when certainty is not available. Real faith is not the absence of the struggle. It is the choice to keep moving toward me through the struggle. And that is exactly what you have been doing. That is exactly what I see when I look at you. And let me tell you what real faith produces. Not a life without difficulty. Not the removal of all obstacles, but a life in which difficulty is navigated differently, in which obstacles are faced with a resource that is larger than the obstacle, in which the storms are real, but the ground beneath your feet is more real, in which loss is grieved but not final, in which failure is real but not defining, in which pain is felt fully but not allowed to have the last word. Faith changes the texture of your experience even when it does not change the external facts of your situation. And over time, as faith is exercised and strengthened, it begins to change the external facts too, not by magic, not by manipulation, but by the cumulative effect of a life lived in alignment with a God who works on behalf of those who trust Him. Trust me more. That is my invitation to you in this season. Not more straining and not more performing, just more trusting. Choosing, repeatedly, to let my character be your reference point. Letting my track record be more persuasive than your fears. Letting what I have promised shape your expectations more than what you currently see. I have never failed anyone who trusted me, not once, not in all of history, not in the lives of the people you read about in Scripture, whose stories of faith and fulfillment are recorded for exactly this reason, so you would know that the God who was faithful to them is the same God who is present with you, and not in the lives of the countless people throughout the centuries who have put their trust in me and found me faithful. I am not a God who has a history of faithfulness with everyone except you. You are not the exception. You are not the one case in human history where my faithfulness runs out. I am faithful to you, completely, consistently, in every season, in every circumstance, in the waiting and in the receiving, in the dark seasons and the bright ones. You can count on me. I know that the experiences of your life have sometimes made that hard to believe. I know that things have happened that were painful, and that your soul has wrestled with. I am not asking you to pretend those things were not real, or that the pain was not real. I am asking you to look at the whole of the evidence. Look at every time something was provided just when you needed it. Look at every protection you may not have even known about. Look at every moment you thought you would not survive that you actually survived. Look at every darkness you walked through that eventually gave way to light. The evidence of my faithfulness is all through your story. Let it speak. I want to close this time with you by speaking specifically about what I see when I look at you. Because I think there is a version of yourself that you look at when you look in the mirror, and a version of yourself that you carry in your mind when you assess your own value and capability. And I want to tell you what I see, because what I see is different from what you sometimes see. I see someone who has been through more than most people know, who has fought battles that were invisible to the people around them, who has maintained something, a thread of faith, a willingness to keep trying, a refusal to fully surrender to despair, in the middle of circumstances that would have broken someone with less resilience. I see someone who loves in a real way, not perfectly, but genuinely. Someone who cares about the people in their life and wants good things for them. Someone who has a heart that is oriented, however imperfectly, toward good. I see someone with gifts that have not yet been fully expressed, with capacities that have not yet been fully developed, with a future that has not yet been fully seen. I see someone who is worth every bit of the investment I have made in them, and whose story is far from over. This is who I see when I look at you. Not the version that sees only the failures and shortcomings. Not the version defined by the worst moments. Not the version seen through the eyes of anyone who has ever undervalued you or treated you as less than you are. I see the full picture. I see the truth. And the truth is beautiful. You are more than you know. You are more capable than you believe. You carry more than you realize. And I am not finished with what I am doing in and through your life. Not even close. I want to speak to the person who is reading this, who has a specific prayer that has been on their heart for a very long time. Not a week or a month, but years. A prayer that at this point almost feels like it has become part of the permanent furniture of your inner life. Something you keep bringing back to me season after season, without seeing the answer materialize. You have almost stopped expecting it. You have almost made peace with the idea that perhaps that particular thing is simply not going to happen. And yet some small, persistent part of you keeps bringing it back to me, keeps hoping, keeps asking, against all the available evidence, keeps believing. That persistent, almost irrational faith is the most precious thing. I want you to know that I see it, I honor it, and I am specifically speaking into it right now. The long-prayed prayer is not lost. It is not forgotten. It is not one of the things I have decided to pass over. It is one of the things I have been preparing the most carefully. The length of the wait is not proportionate to the smallness of my intention regarding it. If anything, the longer the preparation, the more comprehensive the answer that is being prepared. Long waits are not the result of small prayers. They are often the result of large prayers that require large preparation. Hold on to that particular hope, the one that feels almost embarrassing to keep hoping for because it has been so long. The one that feels vulnerable to mention because you have been disappointed before. Hold on to it. Not in desperate anxiety, but in the quiet, confident way of someone who knows the one who made the promise. I have not forgotten what you asked for. I have not changed my mind about your good. The answer to that particular prayer is the one I am most eager to deliver, precisely because I know how long you have been holding on. Receiving it will be a moment that redeems the waiting entirely. It is coming. hold on. There is one more thing I want you to understand about the nature of answered prayer, because it will protect you from a misunderstanding that could cause you to miss the very thing you have been waiting for. Answered prayer does not always look like what you pictured. When you formed the prayer, you had in mind a specific outcome, a specific change in a specific situation, and you have been watching for that specific outcome. But sometimes, often, my answer comes in a different form than the one you were watching for. Sometimes my answer is better than what you asked for, taking a shape that is actually more aligned with your deepest need than the specific thing you requested. Sometimes my answer is broader, addressing the root of the issue rather than just the surface symptom. Sometimes my answer comes through a pathway you would not have thought to watch. This is not me being unpredictable or difficult. This is me being a God who sees more than you see. You see the situation from inside it. You see it from your current limited vantage point. I see it from every angle simultaneously, including angles that do not exist yet because they are in the future. When I answer differently than you expected, it is because from where I stand, my answer is better. It serves your actual highest good, not just your perceived immediate need. Trust the form my answers take even when they surprise you. And then there is the question of timing. The moment my answer arrives may not be the moment you predicted or the moment you are most urgently hoping for. There have been times in your life when you needed an answer desperately, and it seemed to come too late, after the difficulty had already done its damage. And you wondered, why then? Why not sooner? I understand that question. I do not dismiss it, but I want to gently offer you a perspective. In every case where my timing seemed late, something was happening in the gap between when you asked and when I answered that was necessary for the answer to land well. Preparation happening in you. Preparation happening in the situation. Positioning happening in the people involved. My timing is not capricious. It is deeply considered. It takes into account everything I can see and you cannot. Walk forward in the confidence that I am at work, that my answer is in process, that the timing will be perfect when the moment arrives. And meanwhile, you are not waiting in empty space. You are living your life in my company, growing, developing, deepening, becoming the person who will receive the answer well. This is not wasted time. This is sacred time. It is the preparation season, and it matters. Let me leave you with the picture of what I see when I look at the road ahead of you. I see it clearly. I have designed it. I have paved it with purposes that align with your deepest longings. I see provision sufficient for every need you will encounter. I see relationships that will enrich your life in ways you have been longing for. I see moments of breakthrough that will feel like sunrise after the longest night. I see clarity arriving in areas that have been foggy. I see growth that will surprise even you, because you will look back and realize how much has changed, how much stronger you have become, how much more you are able to hold and give and receive than you were at the start of this season. I see the fulfillment of what you have been praying for. I see answers that will make you weep with gratitude. I see the story of your life continuing to unfold in ways that honor the faith you have maintained and the love you have chosen, and the prayers you have kept on praying when giving up would have been easier. This is what I see, and because I see it, you can trust it. Because I have promised it, you can hold it. Because I am your God, and I do not lie, and I do not fail the ones I love, you can stand on this as if it were already here. It is already here in the realm of my intention. And what is settled in my intention always makes its way into your experience. Always. Without exception. Without fail. Now I want to release something over you in this moment. something I have been waiting to release until you had heard enough of what I have been saying to be able to receive it fully. I am releasing peace over you right now. Not the peace of someone who has solved all their problems. The deeper peace. The peace that exists independent of circumstances. The peace that Paul described as passing all understanding, because it does not make rational sense given the circumstances. It simply is there, available, offered, real. I am releasing that peace into your heart in this moment. It is available to you right now. Do not push it away by immediately returning to the list of what still needs to be fixed. Just receive it first. Sit in it for a moment. Let it settle. This peace is my gift to you for right now, for this exact place in your journey. It does not wait for everything to be resolved. It meets you here, in the middle. I am releasing strength over you, the specific kind of strength you need to keep going through what is in front of you. Not just endurance, the grim kind where you push through by sheer will, but genuine spiritual strength. The kind that comes from being connected to the source. The kind that renews itself. The kind that makes what was exhausting feel less so. That makes what was impossible feel manageable. That makes the weight lighter, not because the weight has changed, but because the carrier has been strengthened. That strength is available to you. It is being released into you right now as you receive these words. And I am releasing hope over you. Real hope. Not wishful thinking, not positive mental attitude, not self-generated optimism, a hope that is grounded in my character, in my promises, in my long and unbroken track record of faithfulness to the ones who trust me. A hope that says, I have seen this God be faithful. I have experienced this God come through. I have walked through seasons that seemed impossible and found this God on the other side of every one of them. And therefore, I can reasonably and confidently expect this God to come through again in this season, in this situation, in this life that belongs to Him. This is the hope I am releasing over you. Let it land. Let it grow. Let it take root deep enough to hold even when the wind picks up. Let it be the compass that consistently, reliably orients you toward the next good thing that is already on its way to you. I want to speak one final time about something that has weight in your life right now. The people you are praying for, the family members and friends and colleagues who you lift up to me, sometimes with joy and sometimes with deep concern, the ones whose paths have taken turns that worry you, the ones who are struggling in ways you wish you could fix, the ones who are far from me or who seem to be moving further from me, and whose distance from me is one of the deepest pains you carry. I hear those prayers too. Every name you have brought before me, every face you have held up in the quiet moments of your intercession, those prayers are among the most powerful you ever pray, because they are prayers offered entirely out of love, without personal gain, without asking for anything for yourself. The intercession of a genuinely loving heart is something I move in response to in ways that are extraordinary. The people you pray for are not outside my reach. Their stories are not finished. The distance some of them have traveled from their own potential, from their own health, from me, that distance is crossable. I am working in their lives even when it is invisible. I am working through you as you pray for them. Keep praying. Keep holding their names before me. Keep believing for them in the seasons when they cannot believe for themselves. That is one of the greatest gifts you can give another human being, and one of the most powerful things you can do in my kingdom. And know this, some of the answers to your prayers for others will come through you. I will put you in the right place at the right time to say the right thing to someone who needed exactly that. I will use your story, including the hard parts, to speak into someone else's struggle in a way that only your specific story could. The things you have been through are not just your experience. They are part of a larger story of grace that will touch more people than you currently realize. Your life is part of my answer to someone else's prayer, and their life is part of my answer to yours. We are all connected in this. We are all held in the same love. This truth deserves to be stated one more time in the simplest, most direct way, without any theological scaffolding, without any additional content. Just the raw truth. That love reaches your specific self, with your specific history, with your specific prayers, and your specific hopes, and your specific fears. That love is the ground under your feet. The love I have for you is the air you breathe. That love is what you are ultimately sustained by, what you are ultimately held by, what your future ultimately rests in. My love for you is responding to your calling right now. Right now, as you close out this time of listening. Right now, as you carry these words back into your day. Right now, the love that knows your name is working on your behalf. Watch for it. Receive it. Let it be enough. Go forward from this moment with something settled in your chest. A settledness that says, I am heard. I am known. I am loved. I am being answered. The road ahead is held by the hands that have held me this far, and those hands are good. They have never failed. They will not fail now. They will not fail ever. I have one more thing to say before I close, about the specific moment you are in right now. Not the general season of your life, but this moment, today. The specific day in which you are hearing these words. This day is not an accident. This day is not random. You did not find this message by chance. I directed you here. I wanted you to hear these words on this day because there is something specific about today that required this encouragement. Maybe you were close to giving up on something. Maybe a particular discouragement had found a deeper foothold than usual. Maybe you were at the point where the doubt was threatening to become a decision. The decision to simply stop expecting, stop hoping, stop waiting. I intercepted that. I brought you here. I am speaking to that specific place of almost giving up, and I am saying, not yet, not now. Hold on a little longer. What you are about to see will make holding on entirely worth it. The version of you who looks back on this season from the other side of it. The version who has seen what I was preparing, who has received what I was building toward, who has lived into the story I have been writing. That version of you will be glad you held on, will be thankful for every day you chose trust over despair, will be grateful for every prayer that felt like it was going nowhere, because it was actually going exactly where it needed to go. Hold on. I am with you. I am for you. I am actively working on your behalf. The answer is coming. The season is turning. Your calling has been heard, and my response is more generous, more beautiful, more comprehensive than you currently have the capacity to imagine. You are heard. You are loved. You are mine. And your breakthrough is coming. Amen. If these words found you in a season of waiting and gave your faith something to hold on to, please share this message with someone you know who is struggling to believe that God hears their prayers. Sometimes the most life-changing thing we can do for another person is simply remind them that they are not forgotten. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a message. We share these devotionals every day because there is always someone who needs to hear that God sees them, God hears them, and God is moving on their behalf. Leave your prayer request in the comments below. Every request is received with care, and this community of believers will stand with you. You are not alone in this. Your prayer matters, your faith matters, and the God who made you is answering your call.